Welcome everybody to another video. I know this isn't ideal, but I'm on a fucking work trip and we're in the hotel, but we're making it work for you guys. We've got the SBS for volume 114, and it's a lot of fucking, Oda coming up with bullshit. We actually got a lot of lore, and Oda's also gooning. Nothing new. It's just a normal fucking day with Oda. So let's get straight into this shit. So I'm gonna cover a couple little tidbit information first. I don't really know if these are even in the fucking SBS, but they're kind of cool little confirmations from Oda. First is that Rox's sword, his name is Eclipse. I think this is pretty cool. I mean, it would have been cool if maybe Blackbeard's name was Eclipse or something like that. You know how like Roger named his son Ace after his sword. So I don't really know why its name is Eclipse or like why it didn't carry on. Maybe because he died, but yeah. Second thing is that Shanks and Shamrock's mother's name is Magnolia, and I'm guessing this is after a flower. I think Magnolia is a flower. I don't really know the significance of this. I mean, Oda has a thing with naming people after flowers, like Amazon Lily. I mean, like Lily. So who fucking knows? Maybe it's important, and I just don't understand it. Last thing is that Rox's ship is called Rox's Fury. I don't know what this is signifying either, but it's kind of cool, I guess. It's weird that he names the ship after himself, like Rox's Fury. I don't really know. But getting into the actual questions, this first question is talking about how at God Valley we saw like all of the Rox crew members using devil fruits that we have seen throughout the series, and Oda's basically confirming that, what's this guy's name? Ganzui actually had Mr. Five's fruit, Captain John was using Kid's fruit, and that Gilbastar was using Perona's fruit. So I think this is kind of cool that he's, actually confirming this shit. I don't know why he couldn't have just fucking confirmed this during God Valley. Maybe he wanted the fans to speculate, but it's just like, you could have just confirmed this in God Valley, and then we don't have to ask this question and waste it in a fucking SBS, because we could have had another question in the slot, but he probably would have filled it with some Gooner shit, so whatever. At least we got it confirmed. Moving on, the next question is, are there any standard activities or games that Luffy and the crew play during their parties? And Oda says, there are plenty. Once Brook gets into the swing of things, he immediately starts playing the piano or violin. Frankie joins in on the guitar. I didn't know he could fucking play the guitar. And then they start singing and shit like that, which, okay, we've seen them do that. And then they do the chopstick and nose dance, which is pretty funny. But there's a bunch of other things that they apparently do. I wish we could just see them do this. Like when we were traveling from Wano to Elbaf, or to Egghead, why couldn't we see them playing a fucking game or something? I know Oda's coming up with all this bullshit on the fly, but it's like, come on, dude. Just have them do something fun. So it's just like, okay, we see them playing games on their ship, so now we can ask, oh, what other games are they playing? Not just, here, Oda, come up with some random bullshit. But moving on, though, question number 3. Does the captain of the Kuja pirates always become the Empress of Amazon Lily? I think this is an actually great question because not a whole lot has been explained about how you know, the Kuja pirates actually work and how their, hierarchy is set up. So Oda says it's actually the other way around. First, there is a saying in Amazon Lily, in this country, strength is beauty. So I'm assuming he's saying that does the captain of Kuja pirates always become the Empress of Amazon Lily? So it's the opposite. The Empress of Amazon Lily becomes the captain of the Kuja pirates. The strongest and most beautiful person wins the throne as Empress, so they serve as the captain. Okay, and he drops like a line here at the end, and he says, okay, with a story of Shakuyaki who successfully escaped the celestial dragons being depicted in this volume, I feel like we can start to see why Hancock and her sisters, who were candidates for the Empress position, were targeted and enslaved by someone. Not that it matters, though. So it definitely matters. They were enslaved by someone. We assumed it was Garling. Like, Garling was the one that wanted Shakuyaki in the first place. He's the one that set this whole fucking. He's the one that set God Valley up. He's the one that, wanted this. He's the one that wanted Shakuyaki in the first place, right? He's the one that wanted her as a bride. So I'm assuming that he said, okay, I can't have her. I'm just going to wait a couple of generations and I'm going to get the next fuckers that come through. So that's maybe why Hancock was captured. Or it's possible that they were targeted, to try to end the Kuja pirates in some way. Maybe it would like halt some process or some shit. But moving on, though, we have another question about the Kuja pirates. Young Glorioso was depicted wearing the same snake earrings as Hancock. Also, it seems Shakuyaki and Tritoma wore different accessories before becoming captain, but wore the snake earrings after. Is it a rule that the captains of the Kuja pirates wear those earrings through the generations? So, like, are do you wear those because you are the captain? And it's basically that this is like their crown in a way. Like when you become the empress, you get handed down these earrings as a crown, which I think is pretty cool. It's almost like the straw hat in a way. Like I think that the straw hat is going to be like the king of the pirate's crown. I mean, that's basically what it is, but it's going to be like Joy Boy's crown. Moving on to the next question, we are talking about the man Kazuki fucking Moria. So, is the Kazuki Moria scene in chapter 1158 cover page actually Gecko Moria? I bet you've received a mountain of questions about this. And Oda says, that's right, I actually wanted to reveal this during the Wano arc, but I couldn't find the right opening to fit it in. Based on the information I've given you all so far, Moria was described like this. He once fought with Kaido. After his entire crew was killed, he developed a personality that relies on others. So yeah, his crew got wiped out by Kaido, so he started, creating this undead army that could never, die, and he wouldn't have to lose them again. And he possessed the corpse of Ryuma, and he got the short sword Shisui. So Oda continues, from those points you might have imagined he had been to Wano before, but what I really want to share is the reason for his fight with Kaido. So Moria, apparently he ended up on Wano as a young boy. He drifted onto the shore, and then Wano took him in, specifically Ringo took him in, and they cherished him and they gave him the name Kozuki to honor his strength, apparently, because Moria was fucking cracked back then. So he set out to sea to become a pirate, and then he came back to defend Wano, which is what people thought. They're like, okay, Moria, he must have came to try to defend Wano by beating Kaido, which is exactly it. But they actually, so he's not an actual Kazuki, he's like an honorary Kazuki. And so Wano thought that he died. Wano thought that he died from this thing with Kaido. So they don't even know he's alive. And this is why this is why there's that tombstone there, basically, and why it says Kazuki. So he so Moria, after he lost, he felt so ashamed that he never came back. So I don't know if Oda's just writing this in so he has an excuse for why he didn't talk about it. It's like, dude, Zoro was out here looking at graves and shit after. Why couldn't we have just panned over to fucking Moria's grave? Like, it would have been so simple at the end of the arc to throw in just this little thing to talk about Moria. I don't get why he couldn't have added that in. This is why I'm like, dude, you're just adding bullshit as we go. But I'm glad that he finally fucking talked about Moria a little bit more. We got that confirmation. No confirmation here if Page One and whatever the chick's name, if they're related to Moria. I know that was another theory that when Moria came to Wano, he had children, Page One, and then when Moria was defeated, Kaido took them in, which is possible. Ulti's her name. Moving on to question 6. This is talking about the Denden Mushis. This says, you've mentioned that Denden Mushi don't mind being captured by humans because they get fed. Does that mean the Denden Mushi kept by the Straw Hats get to eat the delicious meals made by Sanji? I'd like to know how the crew takes care of their Denden Mushi. And then Oda goes on, he says, first of all, on the Sunny, there is one long-distance Denden Mushi, and additionally, 5 members, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Robin, and Frankie, carry baby Denden Mushi, short distance, which they sometimes lend to each other. So, okay. Basically, as long as they have water, Denden Mushi can survive for about 3 months without food. However, since communicating via thought waves uses a lot of energy, it's best to give them some leftovers after use. I don't know. He's just going on and on. I mean, it's cool to get a little bit of lore about Denden Mushis, how they work, and stuff like that. It's nothing crazy, but it's a little bit of lore. Cool. Explanation. I'll take it. Question 7. Why is Stussie's Bat fruit spelled with a small tusu? I don't know. Instead of just Bato. In the game Unlimited World Red, a pirate named Red also has a similar devil fruit, the Vampire, a mythical zone model vampire. And they're asking, like, did you spell it to differentiate the two? And Oda's basically confirming he wanted to spell it the other way, but since that fruit existed, he had to fucking spell it differently. So nothing crazy talked about there, but it's just a little explanation about Stussie's fruit. Moving on to question 7. This one's kind of cool. So this is Yamato's good future versus her bad future. So in the good future, at 40, it still looks like normal Yamato. I mean, this is just what Yamato looks like now. I don't know how she hasn't aged at fucking all, but it literally looks like her, and she's saying that she's gonna go visit Luffy. So this is just normal ass Yamato. And then at 60, I don't wanna becoming a big shot. I'm assuming she's becoming famous or something, and I don't really know what this means. maybe she's taking some position of power or something like that, and she just wants to stay low key, kind of how Odin didn't want to like rule. He wanted to stay low key and go do his own thing. Possibly it. And in the bad future, at 40. This Yamato is literally Odin, which I love that. In a bad future, she just becomes Odin instead of becoming Yamato, because I honestly fucking hated that. Just I'm Odin bullshit, really. And at 60, she's literally dead. I shall be Odin. You die just like Odin did. So I like that in a good future, Yamato is becoming Yamato. She's taking some lessons from Odin, but she's still becoming her own person. Okay, moving on. Number eight's a big one. Odachi. I've been wondering for a long time, was the hooded figure talking to the five elders during the reverie actually Shanks, or was it Shamrock? And Oda's confirming that it was Shamrock. And the reason that it was, he's saying basically that he didn't tell the anime to get a different voice actor for that line, which he's saying is a good thing because he found the right voice actor for Shamrock, which I think is fine. It just gives a little bit of mystery and shit like that. I'm gonna fucking wait because there's just sirens going off in the background. Okay, I think they're fucking far enough. Where was I at? Oh, yeah, okay, so we're getting confirmation that Shanks isn't a rat. He's beaten the rat allegations, which I assumed this was the case. I don't know why it took so long for this shit to be confirmed, or why it wasn't confirmed in the story or anything. Like, I honestly hate when shit is confirmed in the SBS that's important like this, because this really is a big talking point. Like, we don't get any idea that Shamrock exists for literally hundreds of chapters after this moment. So it's like, you have to assume that it's Shanks, really. You could speculate that, okay, there's a clone or whatever. Like, we assumed these things, but really none of them make a whole lot of sense. It honestly makes sense that Shanks could do this in a way, considering Shanks has been to the Holy Land. But we're getting confirmation that it's Shamrock. I'm cool with it. I'm just glad that it's confirmed. Moving on to question 9. It's saying Roger's ship has this, in chapter 1156, Roger's ship has this mark, the mustache, but Roger himself hasn't grown a mustache yet. And Oda says that those are udon noodles and that he's wearing them like a mustache or some shit. He's pulling that out of his ass. It's because he didn't think about it, but whatever. I don't give a fuck. Moving on, question 10. To celebrate Shiki's appearance in the main story, please tell us things like his age and the grade of his swords. This is a very fucking interesting one. Oda's answer. The character Shiki appears in the movie Strong World. If you're interested, go check it out. Let's see, what can I tell you? He is currently 73 years old. He has 2 swords, Oto and Kogarashi. Both are skillful grade. So I think I don't know if that's the second highest tier or if it's one below that. It might be one more below that. I don't know the other swords that are in that class, but he likes gold leaf sushi and hates burdock root. Don't fucking know. He hails from Yano country, so a place that's a little rougher version of Wano. Okay, we're just creating places. I would love to see what this Yano country looks like. Why is there no sword god from Yano? Like, where are the warriors of fucking Yano in this story? This sounds like a pretty fucking cool. This is literally like what people wanted Wano to be. Instead of losers like Kinemon, we could have had fucking a place of like hard ass samurai, which would have been sick. But he's saying that he's 73 years old. So is he alive? I mean, it makes sense that Shiki's still alive, but what is he doing right now? What the fuck is Shiki doing? Is he just roaming the seas? Is he locked up somewhere? Is he just chilling on an island? Is he, what has Shiki been doing all of this time? Literally, Shiki just falls off a cliff after God Valley. He goes and attacks Marineford after Roger dies, but it's like, dude, what the fuck is Shiki doing? For someone that is so important, especially in Rox's crew, like Shiki was the number 3 in their crew. And then you have Big Mom and Kaido who are getting even more spotlight. I honestly think Strong World just absolutely killed Shiki as a character for the story of One Piece. Because if Strong World never came around, I could see Shiki being way more prevalent in the story. But I think because Luffy beat him so early and, they gave him this devil fruit that was OP as fuck, it just really ruins things. And I think that, Oda has to, right around that. And that's basically just remove Shiki. But okay, we've got 3 questions left. This next one, in the nightmare shown in chapter 1142, I can't believe the kid's greatest fear wasn't final exams. Oda, what's your greatest fear? It's the PTA, isn't it? And Oda says, manifesting a final exam as a monster is hard. Exams? Also, this wasn't even a question. You just decided for me. But you're right, it's PTA. So I don't know. He's not, I mean, it's like, he's not really answering it. He's not saying why it wasn't final exams or like why isn't it other like kid things? Like, why isn't like vegetables? Why aren't vegetables one of the fucking monsters? They're all like actual monsters and shit. Like if when I was a kid, I'm not worried about dragons and shit, dude. I'm worried about eating fucking vegetables for dinner. I don't know. I wish it was more kid things. Like where are the I know like their parent like their moms are there because they're scared of their moms, but like where are the fun things? I feel like you could have had way more wacky and fun things become monsters in a way. Like you could have brought vegetables to life or some shit. But moving on, second to last question, question 12. Hello, Oda. For people in One Piece who dress like this, referring to the high cut outfits in the image, I'll show something on fucking screen. Are they not wearing any underwear? Here's Oda Gooning, of course. He says, of course they are. I mean, how would they even wear anything under that? Can you please stop ruining our dreams? Dude, Oda probably has just fucking terabytes of like drawings of his characters butt ass naked. 100%. He's got probably 15 terabytes of Nami with just the worst, like the most despicable shit you've seen, like you can imagine. This guy's always gooning. He's gooning in the fucking manga, in the SBS questions. Literally anywhere he can talk about this shit, he's talking about it. I don't really give a fuck about it. It's like, dude, just do that on your own time. I don't, you're just wasting SBS questions with this shit. Same thing with question 13. I want to be Gunko's slave. And Oda says, go right ahead. We're just wasting slots on this bullshit, dude. It's like, come on, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about these SBS questions. I think the most important ones are probably Shanks and Shamrock's mother's name, Big Magnolia. I think that one could have some implications moving forward. The fact that it's a flower name, maybe it has ties to like the Void Century or something in the past, because I do think that that lineage is really important. Some other ones that were important, I think the Shiki still being alive, like I don't think Shiki's gonna be like, the man marked by flames or anything important, but maybe he just shows up in the end. Just to like do something. We got the confirmation that Shamrock was the one that met the Gorosei, which was cool. We got the Moria explanation, which was I like that explanation. And then we got the, Captain John and all of the Devil Fruit confirmations and how they went on to the next generations, which I like. We actually got a little bit of, insight into that. But other than that, that's all I got for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe. See ya.